Hi, this is Karen McNall and I'm with inspiredbygram.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make a quick and simple card using 2 stamp sets and some markers and an embossing folder. So let's get started. We'll take a look at the card first. Very simple layering of panels, and you'll be using the Blackberry Bliss ink, and we'll be using some markers and some Wink Stella. So let's go over the stamp sets we'll be using today. We are going to be using Country Home, and with the Country Home we are going to be using the Sentiment Happy Harvest Blessings, and also we'll be using another photopolymer stamp set called Many Blessings, and we'll be using this image here of these flowers. So our card base is going to be a mint macaron card base, and it's cut your standard A2 size, which is 8.5 by 5.5, and scored at 4 1/4. Our next layer is a Blackberry Bliss layer, and what I've done ahead of time is emboss this using the Tin Tile Dynamic Textured Impressions embossing folder. So these are one of our super thick embossing folders, so you'll only need one acrylic plate when you run it through the Big Shot. So if you notice on this card, the example, I used, so there's an embossed side and a debossed side. So depending on what you like, both work with this embossing folder. So today's card, I'm going to create the card using the embossed side. So you're looking at the embossed side. So we will set this aside, and when I'm using adhering embossed panels, I like to use my Tombow liquid glue. So what we'll do is I'll just bring this in, and you don't need a lot of it. Just need, just go around the edges here, and just make sure you get to the edges, and then just run some right down the middle, and they'll be all set. So we're working with just a 1/4 inch border on all 4 sides, so very simple card. And we'll just lay this down flat. And what I like about the Tombow glue is it gives you a chance to move your paper around if it's off. So we're just going to give that a good press for just a little bit, just because there's lots of impressions in this paper, so I want to make sure it does stick. So I think that's good for right now. Our next layer is a piece of Country Home Designer Series paper, and this is cut 3 by 4. And it's got 2 sides. We'll be using this side here. And this is a piece of mint macaron, and is cut 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. So we're simply going to layer these 2 panels together with our snail adhesive. Simply just running the adhesive along all 4 sides. And I'm just going to layer it here with a 1/4 inch border, again on all 4 sides. All right, so the next step is we're going to stamp our Sentiment Happy Harvest Blessings. So with the photopolymer stamp sets, we'll need a piercing mat, and we'll need our Blackberry Bliss ink here. All right, this is my favorite ink color. I'm glad they brought it back. And we're just going to ink up the Happy Harvest Blessings, and I'm just going to center this left and right and top and bottom. Okay. And there we have it. Since we're stamping, let's stamp the envelope in the inside panel as well. So here's our panel, which is a Whisper White, which is cut 4 by 5 1/4. Let me show you the inside of the card, because I don't think I did show you that. We are using this message here along with this little flower here, which we'll color in. So we will, let me see where the greeting is, and it's right here, and I'm just inking that again in the Blackberry Bliss. So our ink colors match, and we are done with the Blackberry Bliss, and now I'm going to bring in the Memento black ink, and I'm just going to ink up this image here, and I'm going to place it in the lower corner here, and we'll color that image in later. And while we have the black ink out, we always need to design our envelope, so I like to carry the pattern throughout the card. So I'm going to stamp the image right there on the front of my envelope as well. All right, so now we've got that done. What we can do right now is let's adhere this strip here to the front of this. So we've got that all done, and simply we'll just need our snail here. And I'm just going to layer it just about down here. And this piece is, it's 3 inches across, and I think it's like 5/8 of an inch high, just enough for that sentiment to give a nice little border along all 4 sides. All right, so since we've got this piece, and I have no idea where my dimensionals are, they're probably in my closet, and I'm running out, so I've got my handy dandy mini dimensionals, which will work just fine. We'll just, no worries there. Hardest part is just taking off the backings, but I'll just give those a nice little press here. And we'll just remove the backings real quick, and we'll be set to go. All right, so let's bring in our card again. And I'm going to center this with a 1/2 inch border on all 4 sides, and just give it a nice press. See, those mini dimensionals work just fine. Okay, so now let's bring in our panel here, and also our envelope. So I'm not going to color the envelope, but let me show you the example here. So for markers, I used mint macaron, and I also used rich raspberry and crushed curry. So all you're going to do simply is I use the brush tip here, so there's a fine tip in the brush tip, and I just really dab around here. I'm tapping my marker, and I'm just giving it a nice little color. Don't have to be perfect. And I think adding the Wink of Stella gives it a nice little glimmer as well. Okay, almost done here. We've got 2 more at the bottom of that base as well, so we'll get those colored in here. And I'm just simply tapping. This area is really small, so using the brush tip, it does fill it in really quickly. Okay, so we are done there. Our next color is the crushed curry, and I'm just going to add it to the center of the flowers. Don't have to be exact because you're not going to see it over the rich raspberry there. So I just missed a little spot here, so I'm just going to color this in here. All right, so now we're just going to color the vase, which is going to be in mint macaron. And I'm just going to make little swishy marks down here. And I just noticed I forgot one of the centers of my flowers here at the bottom, so I'll fix that. Okay, so that's all set, and let me just fill this one in here. Okay, so now let's bring in the Wink of Stella, and we're just going to jazz up the center of those little flowers here with a little bit of sparkle. I use the Wink of Stella on just about every card, so let me see if I can show it to you in the picture. Not sure if you'll see it on camera or not, but it does have a little bit of glitter to it. All right, so we're done with this, and we're just gonna ready to adhere it to the inside of the card. And it just gets layered right there with a 1/4 inch border. And also we've got to make the one last thing, which is a bow. And this is the Blackberry Bliss Nature, oh, what is this called? Nature's Poem, or no, it's Twine. Nature's Twine, I believe. So I'm just gonna simply, actually I don't like to waste, so let me just try that again. Okay, so I'm just going to get those good, bring in my ribbon scissors here, just snip it off here. All right, so now I need to get a glue dot, which I have no idea where it is. Sorry about that. But what we can do though is I can just add a little bit of adhesive there. I'll fix it later, but just so you can see it in action here. I'm just adding that bow right down to here, and I'm going to trim off the ends to give it an equal look. So here's our card. Happy Harvest Blessings. So grateful for someone like you in my life. So the card we made today with a matching envelope. I love to coordinate my cards and my envelopes together. and the card I made earlier today. So for all your Stampin' needs, please visit my website at inspiredbygraham.com. Thanks for watching and have a great day.